If you'd like to go ahead and state your name and...
Okay. My name is Michelle Rothwell.
Okay. And you're a counselor?
I'm a counselor at Bloomington Junior High.
Okay, thank you. Have you ever experienced a student with drug abuse? And if so, can you explain the situation?
Yes. I've experienced a lot of students who have had drug abuse, drug misuse kind of problems. Everything from, oh, you name it, alcohol, huffing, let's see, over-the-counter cold medicine, heroin, meth, marijuana, just about every kind of cocaine, crack, just about every kind of situation.
Okay. And how did you handle the situation?
Well, typically what happens is when a student comes to see me, I tell them that everything that they see me about is confidential. And so I establish a relationship with the student. A lot of times, well, I wouldn't say a lot of times, but probably half the time there's a concern by a teacher that the student might be using. The other half, the student will probably, and will just disclose that they're using. And after that, we kind of talk about how often it happens, how I really try to do kind of like a mini assessment to see how often they're using, what they're using, if it's once a month they're drinking with friends versus every day before they come to school they're drinking. There's a big difference in after school when they're drinking. And then at that point, after I determine whether it's an issue, I start talking to them about getting help with the problem, and and after it, what I like to do is have them consent to getting help, because if they consent to getting help, they're more likely to get help. If I have to involve, and at that point, because part of my confidentiality guideline says that if I feel like they're in danger of hurting themselves, and drug abuse, obviously, you can die, then I will go to the parents. But I can honestly say that never have I had to go to the parents without the student's permission. I think at the point where they feel like they need treatment, they agree they need treatment. They know it's not getting any better.
Okay.
So.
What are some signs of a student abusing drugs?
Well, there are so many. Sleeping. A lot of people can just tell by the eyes. You can smell on the student if you walk by a student if they're drinking or smoking. Also with meth, it smells like cat urine, so you'll get a smell like cat urine if the student is doing that. Behavior problems, if you see a significant increase in issues with behavior, falling grades, but that could mean so many things, like problems in the home. So, but that's definitely when you see a student starting to change. You want to grab them, and what I like to do is kind of meet with them and just see what's going on.
Okay. What sort of administrative action is taken once a problem takes place?
Well, I always like to inform the administrator. Again, due to confidentiality, when a student comes to me, if at first if it doesn't seem like a significant problem, if it's a problem, like I said, every student that I've worked with who I felt has had a drug or alcohol problem, they've voluntarily gone and got treatment. So at that point, I always involve the administrator.
Okay. What are some things that a parent can do to help the situation?
Can help the situation like what do you, like not having the child use drugs initially, or if there is a problem?
If there is a problem, or just before, so that they know not to get involved, or...
Yeah, well, I think like if you're talking about how to prevent your child from using, education, just having those discussions, because what I found are the kids who really have issues with drug use and abuse, parents don't have those conversations, have never had those conversations with their kids. Parents that I found who've been very open and talk openly with their kids about drugs, what it looks like, and honestly too, because there is that side to that social side that may appeal to kids because teens are very social, and addressing that and the consequences if you decide to participate in that, what the consequences can look like. So I think education is always a good thing. Having an open relationship with your child is a really, really good thing. It may be uncomfortable for the parents. I know a lot of parents are uncomfortable talking about that with kids, but I think it's critical if you want to keep your kids safe. If the child does have a problem and the parent finds out, like maybe after they see me, I think going with the child to the treatment facility during the assessment to hear how much of a problem it is. I think a lot of times parents are in denial, just like kids. And I think participating in like the family therapy, what happens a lot for a lot of these kids is parents don't go to the family therapy and don't participate, and that child needs to feel support. I think also if the child has a drug problem, what I found a lot of times are parents sometimes have their own issues with drugs and alcohol. So if there is that problem, it's really hard to stay sober in an environment where other people are using. So if a parent is very serious about helping their child, then they need to make that household an environment where the substances, even if the child has a problem like with meth, you don't keep alcohol around because alcohol can lead again to using the drug. So.
Okay. And what can a teacher do for prevention-wise in a classroom setting?
Same thing, education. Same thing as a parent, education, and just keep an eye out for kids who typically are good students who start struggling. And like I said, if you notice that cat urine smell, if you smell alcohol in the breath, if you smell marijuana, if the child's eyes look bloodshot, I mean, to listen to conversations with other kids, you're going to hear who's using. I mean, even if that child, the student, doesn't tell you, and then let the counselor know so that some help can be made available.
Okay. Do you think advisory programs can help towards prevention?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think any kind of program is not a bad thing. I just think any kind of involvement. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and I know a lot of the RAP plans that they do for kids to help kids in the community. It's like I envision wrapping that child with lots of people. The more support that the student has, the more likely they are to be successful and less likely to participate in those things if they know that there are lots of people watching out for them.
Okay. And what advice can you give to students to get themselves in the right direction or get the help they need?
Okay. Let's see. I think first and foremost, just to avoid getting into that kind of situation is just staying involved, finding a passion. Whether that be art or reading or sports or any kind of passion. But if you have a passion, and you're busy with that passion, you're less likely to have that downtime to do that. I think, and then if they do have a problem, most kids who have a problem know they have a problem and seeking the help. So finding the right person who will listen.
Well, that's all the questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate the
Thank you.
help.